Florida has new laws to deal with squatters, and today I met two sheriffs at a property to see how it works. Let me tell you about the new law, and then I'll tell you about my real-life experience, because today I went out there as our client's representative to witness our sheriff's department issuing one of these evictions. So let me tell you what it's not for. It's not for somebody who has a lease. This is for squatters. This is for people who are not supposed to be there. And one other thing I should tell you that you already know is that I'm not a lawyer. I'm not qualified to give you legal advice. I'm just telling you my personal experience with this new process because I think we're among the first around here to actually use the new law. Our client has a property that they want to sell, and there's a squatter. They tried all the usual stuff. They tried threatening legal action. Of course, that failed because, they don't care. They tried cash for keys. That's another quick, easy way to get rid of squatters most of the time. That failed. So, our client started this new process here in Florida where you go down to the courthouse and you file the paperwork. And this is something that was simple enough for our client to do on their own without the assistance of a lawyer. Now, I always recommend getting a lawyer to help you with anything to do with real estate. But I just want to tell you, it was easy enough for them to do themselves. You can make your own decision. So you go down to the court, you file the paperwork, it gets processed and approved. Then the clerk of the court records it, signs off on it, and then you've got what's called a writ of possession. And actually, it was really great because I got to do this process because the client's out of town. So I went down there, got the writ of possession, and you take it down to the sheriff's office. In this case, the property is in the county, so it's the sheriff's department's jurisdiction. There's a fee for them to process all this. It was $93 in this case. And then a couple days later, I get a call. Hey, this is Sheriff so-and-so. Can you meet me out at the property this morning? We're going to serve this order to get this person off the property. So met him out there. There were two sheriffs. Now, in this case, the individual had already left the property because they do get notice. They don't just show up and knock on the door and say you have to leave right this second. They get some notice. So in this case, the notice worked. They got their stuff and left the property. Now, if they had not left the property or if they refused to leave, the sheriff would help them leave. So in this case, worked out perfectly. The sheriff searched the property, made sure everything was in order. Nobody was hiding around there. We secured the property, and it was just that easy. I love the new law. It's a lot more property owner friendly because in the past, if you had a squatter, you had to go through the same process as if you were evicting a tenant. And that's an expensive, long process. It can take 6 months. We've even seen it take up to a year for somebody to get somebody out. So squatters would take advantage of those laws to just kind of milk it forever. And meanwhile, the property owner can't have any use of their property. They're still having to pay taxes. They're still having to pay electric and water and everything because you're not allowed to turn those off. That's against the law. And it's costing them money. They don't get to do anything with the property. It just wasn't fair. So thankfully, the state of Florida enacted these new laws that streamlines the whole process for getting squatters off of your property. Have you ever dealt with a squatter? I'd love to hear your story and how you dealt with it. And if you've got questions or anybody you know has questions about real estate or really anything for that matter, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. My contact information's easy to find, and we're happy to tell anybody anything they want to know. We're always here to help. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think Florida did a really great job on this new law, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.